man. Shout out to Neat, bro.
What up? What up? What up? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to a brand new video of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. I'm your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own, Dre Day. What's up? What's up? What's up? Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, it's right there on the bottom of the screen. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. I just recently went over 1,000 subscribers, so thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Also, hit that notification bell so that way once a video is uploaded to YouTube, you will get a notification letting you know that I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. This video here. Now, usually this is sports related live. When I do my lives, I usually do sports related. I don't really do hip hop that much, even though I am a hip hop fanatic. But listen, Billboard gotta come to the classroom. They gotta come in front of the classroom because Billboard has struck again with another outlandish, ridiculous, and like I got in the title, straight garbage and disrespectful hip hop list of 50 albums of all time. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like I'm a hip hop historian, because I'm not. I'm an 80s baby. Okay. Grew up in the 90s. So basically mid 90s, 2000, and even now was what I was primarily listening to. But also, I'm not stupid either. I'm also educated because OGs or parents or family members put me on to old school hip hop albums. And the reason I say that is because Billboard just put together a top 50 hip hop albums of all time. And unfortunately, I don't know who was a part of this panel. I don't know who was a part of this panel on Billboard. But for some odd reason, they felt the need to leave out at least an era and a half of hip hop to appease certain people. Listen, Hove is on the list, I want to say about 4 times. I'm going to get into that. Kanye is on the list, I want to say 5 times. Drake is on the list about 5 times. I think Kendrick is on the list, I want to say 4 times. So basically, in a nutshell, whoever is a part of this Billboard list, they have their favorites. Everybody that knows me, that really, really knows me, knows how much of a huge Jay-Z fan I am. I don't even say Jay-Z fan. I say I'm a Jehovah Witness. Okay. That's one of his nicknames, Jehovah. I say I'm a Jehovah Witness, right? One of those albums that is on this list, I don't think should be on here. And I'm gonna get into it in a few. Because I'm listen, I was at work yesterday when I heard about the list, and I was just ticked off because I'm jotting down, I'm looking at that list, and I'm like, yo, why is this album not there? Why this album not there? And then I looked at the top 10. The top 10 is somewhat respectable. Somewhat respectable. But again, when you talk about all time, when you say all time, then you gotta add some albums from the 80s. You gotta add some albums from the early 90s. So they basically took out an era from the late 80s, I want to say mid to late 80s to early 90s. None of those albums from back then is on this list. So for me, this list is basically straight garbage and disrespectful because you can't have an all-time list and you leave out a whole era. Let's go through the list right now. Let's just get straight into it. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna start from 50 to 11, and then I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. All right. Hopefully y'all can see it. All right. Number 50 is not shown, but the 50th album was Eminem Slim Shady LP. Number 49, Finally Rich, Chief Keef. The GOAT, I don't even know who I've never even heard of that album. Polo G, never even heard of that album. 47, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, Pop Smoke, God Bless the Dead. 46, My Turn, Lil Baby. 45, Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle, God Bless the Dead. 44, Summertime 06, Vince Staples. 43, Because the Internet, Childish Gambino. 42, K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar, Section 80. Now, it's funny that they have this on here because when you think of studio albums from K-Dot, Section 80 doesn't really get spoken about enough. You know, you think of Good Kid, Mad City. You think of Damn. You think of To Pimp a Butterfly. There's not that many people out there that view Section 80 as like a album, right? So it's funny that they have this on there. 41, Certified Lover Boy, Drake. 40, Her Loss, Drake and 21 Savage. 39, Travis Scott, Rodeo. 38, The Off Season by J. Cole. 37, Legends Never Die by Juice WRLD. 36, Music to Be Murdered by Eminem. Now, me personally, dope album. Dope album. Again, like I said, I think Eminem has, 3 albums on this list. This is one of those albums I don't think should make the list. Respectfully. I don't think this album should make the list. And I'm going to get into it because I want to go through all the albums that's on the list and then spill my grievance because I got plenty of them. 35, The Carter 2, Lil Wayne. 34, Watch the Throne, Jay-Z and Kanye West. I just spoke about that not too long ago. I don't think that album should be on this list. 33, Migos. That album, listen, I was debating, should the Migos even be on this list? However, the run that they had, that long stretch that they had, they killed the game. Like they had the game in a chokehold. So for that, I'm going to keep this album on the list. I don't know where I would have it, but Migos Culture, that can stay on this list. Outkast, AT-Aliens, have no problem with that. Into the Woo, 36 Chambers, no problem with that. Me personally, I think it should be a little higher if you ask me. Number 30, Scorpion, Drake. 29, the documentary, The Game. 28, 2014, Forest Hill Drive, J. Cole. 27, DS2, Pluto. Well, Future, for those of y'all that don't know. 26, Astro World, Travis Scott. 25, The Carter 3, Lil Wayne. I do agree. I do believe that The Carter 3 was better than The Carter 2, so I have no problem with The Carter 3 being above Carter 2. Both albums do deserve to make this list, though. Let's just get that out the way. Life After Death, Notorious B.I.G. That album should be much higher than what it is right now. They got that at 24. That album should be higher, respectfully. 23, the infamous Mobbdeep. That album should also be higher than what it is. I get it that it's Jordan and Kobe numbers, but those two albums should be in the top, I would say top 15, if you ask me. 22, Me Against the World, Tupac. 21, Late Registration, Kanye West. 20, Views, Drake. 19, The Chronic, Dr. Dre. I believe that album should be higher. 18, Stankonia, Outkast. Listen, when I saw that album, I was at work. I was cleaning the staff lounge. I wanted to dirty it, seeing that album on this list. Now, you're talking to somebody who is a huge Outkast fan. Huge Outkast fan. You're not going to find a bigger Outkast fan than me outside of the South. So I'm talking about up top, West Coast. I'm the biggest Outkast fan when it comes to that. Now, obviously, they got their loyal core down south, primarily Atlanta. But I'm talking about anywhere else, I'm their biggest fan. Stankonia does not make this list. And it damn sure don't make number 16. Because, like I said, they have two albums on here from Outkast. AT-Aliens is 32. Stankonia is 18. So with their metric, they're saying Stankonia is better than AT-Aliens, and that's a ballhead lie. That's a ballhead lie. The best Outkast album is Aquemini. But Aquemini is not on this list. So you chose AT-Aliens I have no problem with. But you got Stankonia on this album. You got Stankonia on this list, but not Aquemini, which is Outkast's best album. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking Stankonia out of here. Get it out of here. No. Aquemini should be on this list. 17, Graduation, Kanye West. 16, Jay-Z, Black Album. 15, Damn, Kendrick Lamar. 14, Good Kid, Mad City. Like they went they went back to back with Kendrick Lamar, which is crazy. Because again, like I said earlier, for anybody that's just joining, this list clearly has their favorites on this list. Jay-Z is a favorite because he got so many albums on this list. Kanye is a favorite. He got a lot of albums on this list. Kendrick Lamar got 4 albums on this list. Drake, I think Drake got about 5 or 6, if you include his solo stuff and then the album I mentioned earlier with 21 Savage. Speaking of Drake, Number 13, if you're reading this, it's too late. 12, Kanye, college dropout. 11, Nas, it was written. So let's move this. And now let's get to the top 10. Dang, what was 10? Let me check what's 10 because obviously it's covered. I wanna make sure. I want to see what number 10 is. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Because I took a screenshot of this mofo. Reasonable Doubt. Hove makes the top 10, which I have no problem with. K-Sap, salute. Can't wait to cook with you later on, my guy. Cannot wait to cook with you later on. I'm looking forward to this. Number 9, the Marshall Mathers LP. Number 8, Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Me personally, this is my honest opinion. Y'all ready for this? I don't think All Eyes on Me was Tupac's best album. I think Me Against the World was his best album. My opinion. But I get it. He just came home from jail. He just signed to Death Row. California Love was the leading single with Dre. I get it. So from a popularity standpoint, I look forward to getting the info, big homie. From a popularity standpoint, I could understand All Eyes on Me being high on this list. But for me, if we talking about having a Tupac album high on the totem pole, for me, Me Against the World is a better album than All Eyes on Me. That's just my opinion. 7, Biggie, Ready to Die. 6, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. 5, Take Care, Drake. 4, Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent. 3, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. 2, Blueprint, Jay-Z. And number 1, according to Billboard, the number 1 rap album of all time is Nasty Nas' Illmatic. So there you have it. I just went through the whole list of all the albums that made that list. And it's straight disrespectful. Straight disrespectful. Because for people that are watching this, I don't know what your age is. But this is primarily for, I saw a video a few days ago where a person broke down like the age barriers, like where do you fall in the age, and where do you fall in the age barrier? Like certain ages, you a YN. Certain ages, you're a big bro. A certain age, you're a unk, which I will fall under. Another area, you'll be big homie or OG or something like that. I want to know how many OGs and big homies was a part of this panel for Billboard. Because if there were, they should be ashamed of themselves. Because you don't have no mid, late 80s or early 90s albums on this list. And that's crazy. That's pathetic. See, lists like this need names to it. Like when a list like this gets publicized, we need to know who was on the panel that came up with this list. So let's say it was 6 people that put this list together. We need the names of all of those people. We need to know their social media information. We need to know who they are that made this crazy list. Because how you going to tell me with a straight face that Eric B. and Rakim paid in full doesn't make this list? How? How do you even grasp not putting Eric B and Rakim paid in full on this list? How is Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, not on this list? How is Run DMC not on this list? Raising Hell, that self-titled album. How is neither one of those albums on this list? Public Enemy is not on this list. Birth of a Nation, the album would Fight the Power. Like, yo, Public Enemy, like, again, like I said, they erased a whole, like, whoever put this list together, they erased a whole era. They basically started in the early 90s. They said to hell with everything else. Let's start with the early 90s, and that's a joke. You don't got no NWA on there, no Straight Outta Compton, no Niggas for Life. Like, how? Like, how did you put this list together? I really want to know who the hell was on this list. I want to know who the hell put this list together, because we need names. Like, we honestly need names. Like, people that are true hip-hop fans like myself. This is a joke that those albums that I just mentioned didn't make this list. LL Cool J. This is someone who, as far as the rap game goes, he was the one that coined it GOAT, greatest of all time. So everybody that's walking around saying GOAT, greatest of all time, James Todd Smith was the person that, he was the one that anointed that. Obviously, Muhammad Ali was saying it, but he was saying it in a boxing sense. I'm talking about from a rapping standpoint. LL Cool J was the first one to say GOAT, greatest of all time. How is LL Cool J not on this list? You can make a case that 3 of his albums could be on this list. Mama Said Knock You Out, Bad, Radio. How is one of those albums not on this list? Crazy. But like I said, they pandered to a lot of people on this list. They pandered to a lot of people. And from what I'm grasping in my brain, it was a lot of young niggas that did this list. It was a lot of little bros that did this list. Hold on. I want to see if I can find this video. I'm gonna just put the phones to the mic, and then y'all can hear this guy break it down. Hopefully I can find it, because I know I saved it recently. I think I did. I think I did. I think I saved it, and from the looks of it, I don't think I did. But like I said, this guy broke down. Like, he broke down. Like, what are you? Like, certain age groups. Like, certain age groups was a young nigga, or a certain age group was big bro, or a certain age group was unk. Like, I'm trying to find that video, and I don't think I'm gonna find it. But the point is that I truly believe that whoever put this list together was a group of YNs and little bros. Because there's no way a unk, which is 40 and up, was on that panel. There's no way a OG or a big homie was in that room. Because if so, I don't know how the hell you leave Eric B and Rakim off that list. Public Enemy is not on this list. NWA. Hell, NWA, you got Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life. Neither one of them made the list. Hell, Ice Cube didn't even make the list. And you could take your pick with his first 2 albums. Take your pick. Pick your poison. Flip a coin. America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate. You could put any one of those albums on this list. Again, it's 50 albums of all time. You gonna tell me Ice Cube don't got one of the 50 greatest albums of all time? Come on, man. People tend to forget Ice Cube used to rap. I know we see him on movies now and stuff like that, but O'Shea Jackson was a beast on the mic. A beast. Scarface is not on the list. The Diary doesn't make the list. The Fix doesn't make the list. Like, look. I got a list. I got a list of albums that I think should be on here. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if this is the one. Hold on. Let me see if this is the one. Oh, those are the albums. Okay, yeah. All right. So, since I'm on it now, these are all the albums that I'm taking off. These are all the albums that I'm taking off. All of them. Respectfully. These are all the albums I'm taking off. All those albums are coming off. All of them. Those albums right there are coming off. So let's go. Let's go over the list again. I'm gonna show y'all all the albums that are coming off. I'm gonna show y'all all the albums that are coming off this list. Straight like that. Here we go. Cause we're gonna start from top. We're gonna start from all the way from the bottom to the top. Cause listen, a lot of these albums is coming off. Now, I told you number 50 was Eminem, Slim Shady LP. They got 3 Eminem albums on this list. I don't have a problem with 3 Eminem albums. What I do have a problem with is the album selections. Music to be Murdered By does not make this list. It doesn't. It doesn't. And then again, they got Slim Shady LP at number 50. I don't think that album makes it either. So for me, if I'm gonna put 2 albums from Eminem on this list, because again, Marshall Mathers LP made the top 10. If I'm gonna add another Eminem album to this list, it's the Eminem Show. You got some people out there that believe the Eminem Show is Eminem's best album. There's some people out there that believe that. Me personally, depending on what day of the week it is, I think we all can agree that the Eminem Show and Marshall Mathers LP, the first one, because that second one, I rocked with it when it first came out, but that ain't something that I'm listening to right now. Like, it might be a few songs that I'll go listen to, but it's not an album that I can listen to from top to bottom when it first came out. And that was like, what, 2013, 2014, 2012, the earliest. So, yeah, I have no problem with Eminem having 2 albums on this list. But Music to Be Murdered and the Slim Shady LP, they don't make my list. They don't make my list. And the Slim Shady LP is dope. But no, for me, Marshall Mathers LP is right where it belongs on the list. And then I would substitute Music to Be Murdered for the Eminem Show. And Slim Shady LP, I'll just take that off as a whole. Finally Rich, Chief Keef, that's coming off my list. The GOAT, Polo G, coming off. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Listen, I remember Pop Smoke's run. He was basically the catapult of drill rap, especially when it came to New York. God bless the dead. He does not make my 50. Sorry. Lil Baby does not make my 50. Nipsey Hussle, God bless the dead. That Victory Lap album was fire. Like, that shit was fire. Like, that, yeah, that was, Strong four mics. Strong four mics. Strong four mics. I don't know if that will make my 50. Summertime 06 definitely is not in my 50. Because the internet, definitely not in my 50. Section 80 by Kendrick Lamar, that's not in my 50. Now, those other albums that he dropped, them other ones he dropped, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, those three would be in my 50. But no, Certified Lover Boy, absolutely not. First of all, let's get to this with Drake. There's about 3 albums from Drake. Again, there's 3 albums from Drake that I'm taking off this list. Certified Lover Boy is one of them. Views is the other one. Scorpion is the other one. The only 2 albums from Drake that I'm keeping on this list is If You're Reading This and It's Too Late and Take Care. Those are the only 2 albums from Drake I am leaving on this list. Them other albums, they're coming off. I spoke about this earlier. Jay-Z, Kanye West. Listen, y'all know I already said, I've already confirmed how much I love Jay-Z. But this album is not top 50. It's not top 50. No, it's not. Dope album. Strong four mic album. But no, this album does not make 50. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. I already said Drake, Scorpion, that's coming off. Future, DS2, that's coming off. Astro World, Travis Scott, that's coming off. I already said Views. Stankonia, that's coming off. So all of those albums I mentioned, those shits is coming off. Now, let me show y'all a list of some of the albums that I felt should be on the list. Hold on a second. Hold on. Because this is what's baffling to me. We talking about 50 hip hop albums of all time. How do you not have Raekwon the Chef, Only Built for Cuban Links on here? How do you not have that on here? Like when you think, especially in that era, which was the mid 90s, when you thought of hip hop albums, Only Built for Cuban Links was right there. How is that album not on this list? How is Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, how is that not on the list? Now, listen, you're listening to somebody right now, you're watching somebody right now that I'll put it out there because y'all didn't know this before, but I will tell you. My 2 favorite hip hop albums of all time is The Chronic and Doggy Style. Like if you was to say, yo, Dre, give me your 5 hip hop albums of all time. My 2 favorite albums from all time is from the West Coast. Reason being is because when I was younger, I'll say I was about 10, 11 years old at the time. So we talking 94, 95, right? You know, my mother used to, work her 2 jobs. She needed somebody to watch me and my twin brother. My cousins, shout out to Connie and Darlene, when they used to watch us, I had to listen to what they had to listen to. And the 2 albums that they listened to faithfully, like got heavy rotation in their household, was The Chronic and Doggy Style. Now, mind you, I'm a young nigga. I'm a little nigga. I got no business listening to this stuff. But I just gravitated to it. And yes, I was saying bitches ain't shit, but I wasn't saying it in front of my parents because I knew what ass people would become. But the point is that those two albums was my introduction to hip hop, because prior to that, I was probably listening to rap, but that would probably be like if I'm driving in the car with my dad and he playing Eric B and Rakim or Big Daddy Kane or Slick Rick. Hell, again, KRS-One is not on this list. No Boogie Down Productions, no Criminal Minded. None of those albums is on this list. Again, like this list is complete bullshit. Like, it's so many albums that they left off this list that I'm telling you, like real talk, we need to know who was on the panel that put this list together. We so need to know. Like, a full-blown investigation needs to come about this, because this is crazy. Straight crazy. But again, like I said, those two albums was my full-blown introduction to hip-hop. Those two albums. So, again, how is Snoop Doggy Style not on this list? A Tribe Called Quest. How is a Tribe Called Quest not on this list? Again, like I said, they basically disregarded a whole era. So we talking late 80s, we talking mid-late 80s to early 90s, they disregarded that. And some of those albums is heavily regarded as great hip-hop albums. And Tribe Called Quest got two of them. Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. So how is those two albums not on this list? We love female MCs, right? We love female rappers, right? There's not one female on this list to be represented in hip hop. Not one. You trying to tell me Miseducation of Lauryn Hill should not make? Because again, look, me personally, I don't really view that album as hip hop. I view it as R&B, but there are people out there that view it as a hip hop album. So since they view it as a hip hop album, why is it not on this list? I think Lauryn Hill won like 5-6 Grammys for this album. Now don't get me wrong, I don't really care for the Grammys, but the point is that when that album came out back then, I remember I was in junior high school when that album came out. And the hype that was around that album was crazy. So how is that album not on this list? Like, you have no female representation on this list. And I'm not saying, oh, we should throw a pity party for the ladies in hip hop, but no, like they're female. There are female albums that deserve to be on this list. I'm not the biggest fan of Nicki Minaj at the moment. You trying to tell me her debut album don't have no type of consideration to be on this list? The DOC. No one can do it better. When you talk about underrated MCs that don't get their flowers, DOC is one of them. Had it not been for that accident that he had that basically took his vocal cords, who knows what the DOC would be right now? No one can do it better. That album is straight fire. How is that album not on this list? My Southern niggas, I know y'all gonna like this. How is Young Jeezy Thug Motivation 101 not on this list? And that was 21 years ago. Like, come on, bro. How is Thug Motivation 101 not on this list? Nelly, how was Nelly not on here? Now, again, was Nelly lyrically sound? No. But that ain't gonna stop from that. That's not going, like, we're not gonna take away from his greatness because he wasn't lyrically inclined. Nelly had bangers, whether it was on Country Grammar or Nellyville. You trying to tell me that not one of those albums make the list? What are we talking about here? Listen, go listen to Jay-Z's song, Excuse Me, Miss. He got a certain line in that song where he says, who else gonna run? Who else gonna roll with it? The truth is us. Only dudes moving units, M, Pimp Juice, and us. He was basically saying at that time, it was The Rock, Eminem, and Nelly that was selling records. Now, he left a couple of people out because Ja Rule was killing shit back then. DMX wasn't killing it at that time. DMX's first 3 albums was through the roof. But yeah, he left Ja Rule out of that because I think Ja should have. I think Ja should have been on there. Respectfully, Hov. I think you should have found the way to put Ja Rule name in there. Only dudes moving units, M, Pimp, Juice, Ja, and us. I don't know how you'd have been able to squeeze Ja name in there, but yeah. How is Big Pun, Capital Punishment not on here? See, I'm doing this live, and I'm thinking the albums off the top of my head. How is Big Pun, Capital Punishment not on this list? You got 2 Nas albums on here, which I have no problem with. And I think those should be the 2. And I think those 2 should be on. Like, those 2 are heavily regarded as Nas's best albums. Hell, you got some people out there that believe It Was Written is better than Illmatic. Not gonna sit here and argue with anybody. Everybody like certain albums hit people differently, right? Like certain albums hit people differently. So I can understand why somebody would think that It Was Written was better than Illmatic. Do I think that? I would give the edge that It Was Written just because it was more tracks. Illmatic was only what, 9 records? I'm not counting no intro. You know what I mean? And Illmatic is a classic. If you ask like true hip hop historians. See, I'm not claiming to be a hip hop historian, but I'm not stupid either. I'm a fan of hip hop, and I know which albums meant what albums meant to me and what it meant to hip hop. When it comes to Illmatic, a lot of people have Illmatic in their top 5. A lot of people have Illmatic in their top 5. A lot of people have Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, in their top 5. That's why it's baffling to me that Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, doesn't even make the list. Like, if it would have made the list, I'll be okay, depending on where you had it. Like, if you put Eric B. and Rakim in the top 10, no problem. Because again, like I said, if you ask real hip-hop historians, Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, is probably going to be in the top 10, probably top 5. So the fact that this album doesn't even make the list is crazy to me. Downright crazy. Run DMC. How is Run DMC not on this list? Like, how? Like, when you talk about trend setting in hip hop, Run DMC was one of the first groups that did it. Is Run DMC in my top 5 of all time? No, because they wasn't my era. But I am not going to sit here and act like they did not contribute big time in hip hop. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give respect where it's due. Outkast is my favorite hip hop group of all time. Wu-Tang is right behind them. But Run DMC did what they did, so Outkast and Wu-Tang can do what they did. So how is Run DMC not on this list? That's baffling to me. Baffling to me. Like I truly believe that it's an absolute joke. That, like, for me, there's certain artists that it's mandatory that they make this list. Eric B and Rakim, that was the one that really, like, when I saw this list, the first album that hit my head that didn't make this list was Paid in Full by Eric B and Rakim. LL Cool J, James Todd Smith. How does he does not have an album on this list? Snoop, Doggy Style. How is that not on this list? Like there was a debate on which album was better, Chronic or Doggy Style. Like, that was really a debate on which album was better, Chronic or Doggy Style. Because let's be real, Doggy Style was Snoop's debut album. But you can make a case that The Chronic is also his album, even though it got Dr. Dre name on it, but Snoop's all over that album. Only Built for Cuban Links. Ghostface is all over that album with Raekwon. Speaking of Ghostface, Supreme Clientele doesn't make this list. Like, again, I so want to know. I so want to know who was responsible for this list. I need names and I need ages. Because I truly believe, like, when you're talking about an all-time list, you gotta have you gotta have a spectrum of people on that panel. Like, you gotta have different generations in that panel. And then we could debate, yo, should this album make the list or should this one make the list? Because I'm almost certain there was no OGs or no big homies in that room to do this list. Couldn't have been. There was no 50 plus person in that room to do this list. And if it was, then they should really be ashamed of themselves. Because y'all was literally outside for Paid in Full. Y'all was literally outside for Public Enemy. Y'all was literally outside for NWA. And y'all gonna tell me with a straight face that none of those albums, Run DMC 2, you're gonna tell me with a straight face that none of those albums make the list. That's crazy to me. That's just downright wrong and a lie. So yeah, there you have it. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, before I go, since since people want to talk about hip hop albums, I think, maybe, just maybe, just maybe, maybe I should do my maybe I should do my top 10 of hip hop albums of all time. So these are my 10 hip hop albums of all time. I already told y'all about The Chronic and Doggy Style. I already told you that those two was my introduction to hip hop. Now, do I think there's albums that are better? Yes, but for nostalgia reasons, those two albums is number 1 and 2 for me. Okay? There you have it. Number 3, Biggie, Life After Death. That cracks my top 10. Number 4, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Number 5, Nas, It Was Written. Number 6, Jay-Z, The Blueprint. Listen, like I said, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, so I gotta put 2 of his albums on my list. Do I think it should be number 2 on Billboard? No. But for me, it's gonna be in my top 10. All right. Number 7, mobbdeep, the infamous. Makes my 10. Number 8, Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. That makes my 8. That makes my 10. And then to round off my 10 is my 2 favorite groups, Outkast, Aquemini, and Wu-Tang's Into the Wu 36 Chambers. Those are my top 10 albums of all time. Those are my top 10. I could definitely throw Bone Thugs in there. East 1999, I can easily throw that in there, which I don't understand how that album didn't make this list. GZA, Liquid Swords, how is that not on this list? DMX in 1998, he dropped 2 albums in 1 year, and both of those albums was a certified classic. How is DMX not on this list? Appreciate the top 10, bro. Appreciate the compliment, bro. Appreciate it. Word. Yo, listen. Bro, I was at work yesterday fuming looking at this whole list. Like, it's so, like, yo, I'm telling you, like, an investigation needs to be made. A full-blown investigation needs to be made on who put this list together. We need to know names, and we need to know how old they are. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that there was 50 plus, like ages 50 and above in that room, and they did not mention Paid in Full, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, Criminal Minded, Public Enemy, Tribe Called Quest, like NWA, Ice Cube, Scarface, like all of these names I'm mentioning should have at least 1 or 2 albums on this list. Because there's so many albums that you could take off. It's so many you can take off. And I mentioned them earlier. So I think this list is a travesty. I think it's horrible. And listen, sometimes Billboard, I'm not going to sit here and say Billboard gets it wrong every time, because no, they don't. Like, what was it? Not too long ago, they did great rap groups of all time, right? They had Outkast at number 1. Me, again, like I just said, Outkast is my favorite group, so I'm not going to argue with Outkast being number 1. I think Run DMC was number 2. I forgot the exact ranking. And that was the issue that people had with the rankings, right? Then they had a Billboard for rappers of all time. Hove was number 1. Again, Hove is my GOAT, so I have no problem with that. They had Kendrick at number 2, which was a huge reach. They had Nas at number 3. I'm trying to remember the top 10 for that list. I think Nicki Minaj was 10. Snoop was 9. Drake was 8. Lil Wayne was, I know Biggie was 7. Damn, what? Nicki was 10. Snoop was 7. I mean, Nicki Minaj was 10. Snoop was 9. Drake was 8. Lil Wayne was 7. Biggie was 6. Eminem was 5. Tupac was 4. Nas was 3. Kendrick was 2. And Hov was number 1. That was the top 10 rappers of all time list that Billboard did. And people had an issue with that, which, again, I have no problem with people having an issue with it. Because it's a joke. Some of the rankings is just crazy. Like, I don't mind the album making the list, but if the ranking is blasphemous, we're going to speak on it. Like, if the ranking is crazy, oh yeah, we got to talk about it. But the fact that those albums that I mentioned didn't even make the list, it's like, yo, you shouldn't even talk hip hop. Like, you have no right to talk hip hop if those albums I mentioned did not make the list. I get it. Music is subjective. Depending on what your age is, I get it. Music is subjective. But if you're doing an all-time list, I'm going to say this again. If you're doing an all-time list, Eric B. and Rakim has to be on your list. Especially if you're doing 50. Like, if you're doing 50 hip-hop albums, Paid in Full has to be on that list. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick have to be on that list. Only Built for Cuban Links has to be on that list. Run DMC has to be on that list. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style has to be on that list. Ice Cube, Death Certificate, or America's Most Wanted, pick your poison, has to be on that list. Jeezy, Thug Motivation 101 for my down south niggas, that got to be on the list. A Tribe Called Quest, definitely. So again, I had about 16 or 17 albums that I would take off to make space for these albums that I'm talking about. So listen, I don't want to be on here that much longer. I got a lot of errands to do. I'm off work for the rest of the week. You know, a lot of errands to do, and I don't want to stay on here that long. And besides, I'm hungry as well, so I definitely want to put some food in my stomach. My soaps are about to come on as well. Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. So once those go off, then I can get my errands going. So for everybody that was watching, that tuned in, thank you for watching. For people that comment, which would be my man K-Sap. Shout out to my man K-Sap, Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Y'all can catch me on his channel later on tonight. I forgot the exact time, but we're gonna have some WNBA talk on his channel, and I'm gonna ask him, how can I have it where it's on his channel and mine? So I'm gonna ask him that, because he's very, very equipped with doing that. So shout out to my man K-Sap from Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, and salute to my little bro Bam for watching as well. So again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell, so that way once a video is uploaded, you will get a notification letting you know that I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment. Like what albums you felt should be on this list. And if you want, give me your top 10. Like, if you want, in the comments, give me your top 10 albums of all time. That's all I'm asking. I don't need you to give me all 50, but give me your top 10 albums of all time in the comments. So tell me what albums you felt should make the list, or give me your top 10 of all time. That's what I want y'all to do in the comments. So again, thank y'all for y'all support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. It's time for me to go. My soaps are about to come on in 25 minutes. And in closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another video of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. Again, catch me on K-Sap's channel tonight. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Subscribe to his channel as well, because that's where I'll be. And also, I'm going to see if I can get away to where it's on my platform and his. Appreciate the love, little bro. Appreciate the love. I'm going to try to get more consistent with doing lives. But with my work schedule, it's tough. But since I'm off these days, I figured why not? And again, when I saw that list, I had to do this. I had to. I couldn't just sit back and not do it. Because obviously, you know, the hip hop podcast is out there. They're going to do this list. They're going to do this list. So they probably have already started, but I definitely want to give my opinion because, again, I'm a hip hop fan. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that the albums I mentioned don't make this list. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Real crazy. So, again, thank y'all for the support. In closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another video of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. Thank y'all for the support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here.